Hello and welcome to A View for You, a twice-monthly journal about people and events of interest in the San Francisco Bay Area. My name is Peter Camarda. I'll be your host today. We're broadcasting to you live on channel Comcast Channel 76, AT&T Channel 9, and Astound Channel 99 and Astound Channel 30. Tonight, I'm very pleased to have with me George Birimisa, a playwright who produced gay plays in New York City in the pre-Stonewall era. Thank you very much for joining us tonight, George.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's real nice to be here.
So we'll be asking George a little bit about his life history and about his plays and about New York and some of the events that he's lived through. Let me start, George, by asking you how you began writing plays in the first place. You're a California native, right? You're from Watsonville, is it?
Yeah. You know, how did I get... The reason how that happened was I've been writing ever since I was a little kid, 11 or 12 years old, you know? And I just started to write novels. First novel I wrote was about the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, and it was 500 pages. Uh-huh. And then I stopped, and I had so many characters in it I couldn't even remember. But anyway, after that I wrote 4 very, very lousy novels. I happened to get one of the chapters published in New York when I was very, very young. And a friend of mine. I don't have. I only graduated from the 9th grade. Okay, and so my prose is not the greatest. So a friend of mine suggested I write a play. Mm-hmm. You know, so I said, "What the hell? I'll write a play." I mean, I knew I had to express myself some way, one way or another. So what I did was we drove to New York. This was 1964 or 65.
Wow.
Yeah. How many years ago was that? And when we got in the Pennsylvania Turnpike, it was freezing. Our heater wasn't working.
You weren't prepared for the winters.
Right. And so we'd stop at Howard Johnson's to get out of the chill, and we'd go back in and stop at another one. Uh-huh. We finally got to New York, and then we parked the car, and Rick, my friend, turned one of the knobs, and the heater came on. so we had the heater, mm-hmm. But anyway, when I got to New York, I was reading about the Caffe Cino. This was like a new kind of theater where they were showing all kinds of avant-garde plays, mm-hmm. And
let me show them the book. We have the cover of the book here. So this is Return to the Caffe Cino, and you're a co-editor on this. Is that right, George?
Right. Yeah. Well, it was it was my dream to get a play at the Caffe Cino. Caffe Cino was this little tiny coffee house in the village, in Greenwich Village, and it seated about 30 or 40 people, but they were doing all these incredible plays. Like Lanford Wilson did his first play there. It was called The Madness of Lady Bright, and it was a big smash hit. And all of a sudden, this little tiny cafe became world famous. People all over the world were coming.
Was Sam Shepard involved with that at all?
Yeah, well, Sam Shepard did one of his plays there. Edward Albee and
Christopher Durang.
No, who was the guy who was the playwright who did 6 Degrees of?
Oh yeah.
What's his name? Oh God,
well, it's not Terrence McNally, is it?
No, not Terrence. Terrence didn't do anything there. Another very, very famous musical opened there. It was called Dames at Sea,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And then also Tom O'Horgan. I was doing plays. Tom O'Horgan was this really, really mad, wonderful man. He directed Hair
Mm-hmm.
on Broadway. He also directed Jesus Christ Superstar. And he one of the things he's famous for is bringing rock and roll to Broadway.
Ah, okay.
But he started in this little tiny place.
So, George, what do you think was it about the Caffe Cino that made it such a great incubator for all these different people that were starting out there?
Well, it was like a place where you could just do your thing, and it didn't cost anything. There wasn't a board of directors. There wasn't this. There wasn't that. Someone would walk in the street, and Joe Cino, famous Joe Cino, he that's where off-Broadway started, and he would. I hate to use the word, but sexual. He would get sexual favors from him, but he was a wonderful man, and. Did I mention Dames at Sea?
Yes.
I already mentioned Dames at Sea, and then but I think the biggest thing they did was, for the first time, gay characters would play the lead, would be, would do the leading roles.
So then you think Joe Cino had a gift not only for finding talent, but for recognizing gay talent that could actually produce something worthwhile? Well,
I don't know. He's sort of like a free soul. I mean, someone would, in fact, the man who directed Dames at Sea walked in for the first time. This was before he had directed it. And he said, gee, this play I came in, I want to direct a play here. So Joe Cino just went through his stack and he, at random, pulled out a play and handed it to him and said,
wow,
direct this. And then of course there was Ellen Stewart at La Mama, famous Ellen Stewart. She half the plays she produced there, way back then, she never read. I don't know if I shouldn't say this, but she didn't always, she didn't always read a play. But it was a great time.
Yeah, it sounds like just a very rich time.
Yeah.
So for you, George, what was it like to produce openly gay material in those days? What was it? Did it take courage? Were you frightened, or was it an act of defiance, or how did you manage that?
I think, I don't know. I think I was I had such a passion to write, and before I'd been writing about all this, I was writing with heterosexual protagonists and stuff like that, and then I finally said, what the hell, I'm really going to put it out there. So I wrote this play called Daddy Violet, and it was a smash hit on off-Broadway, and then I got a production. I got a tour of colleges in the United States and Canada with this incredibly gay play.
Isn't that amazing? Yeah.
This was 1967 and early 1968.
So already before Stonewall, you were taking gay plays on the road to all these college campuses.
There's a scene in the play where one of the actors on the stage breaks the fourth wall, runs out into the audience, goes up to best looking guy you can see, and he says, what are you doing after the show?